Look on the screen. Sorry that I gotta ask ya. They are deadly. These dusties, they'll get at ya. Look on the screen. Look on the screen. Look on the screen. They are deadly. Talking about dusties. Look on the screen. Freddie Owens. Why is he on the screen? Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Here we have, and it's just a nightmare, this lady here, Irene Graves. She was a single mother of 3 children, and she worked 2 jobs. No, 3.
And for the first time tonight, we are seeing her face.
A single mother, her kids were at home, and she was working, I believe, her 3rd job. Okay?
This week, the state of South Carolina is set to execute its first death row inmate in more than a decade. He was found guilty in the murder of this woman, Irene Graves. And for the first time tonight, we are seeing her face and hearing from her daughter. Miss Graves was killed in 1997 in Greenville County. She was 41 years old, a single mom with 3 kids, working 3 jobs. At the time of her death, her oldest son was away at college, but her 2 youngest were just 11 and 10 years old. And today, we sat down with that 10.
Now, 3 kids, 3 jobs, 1 away at college. Who is it? Listen to this. And everyone has an opinion about execution. I think they made the right decision. There's no loss. Nah. The loss of the woman. Hardworking. 3 kids. 3 jobs?
The state of South Carolina is set to execute its first death row inmate in more than a decade. He was found guilty in the murder of this woman, Irene Graves. And for the first time tonight, we are seeing her face and hearing from her daughter. Miss Graves was killed in 1997 in Greenville County. She was 41 years old, a single mom with 3 kids, working 3 jobs.
So what was he doing? Well, listen to this. Kind of gives you an idea about the person's character or lack thereof.
Last-minute emergency motion has been filed in an attempt to stop South Carolina's first execution in 13 years. Elise Devlin has details.
The attorneys for Freddie Owens, a convicted killer scheduled to be put to death tomorrow, have filed an emergency motion to postpone his execution after a co-defendant has come forward with new information. Freddie Owens was convicted of shooting and killing store clerk Irene Graves at Speedway on Lawrence Road after committing a string of robberies at 19 years old on Halloween night in 1997.
Say anything about this murder? Are you involved in it?
Nope.
Did you shoot this woman?
Nope.
Owens was convicted in 1999, and in the 24-hour holding period between his guilty verdict and sentencing, he killed his cellmate, who was detained for a traffic charge.
So look at the deadliness. A string of robberies, age 19, someone in jail due to a traffic charge. In jail, a traffic charge, not a homicide.
7.
Say anything about this murder? Are you involved in it?
Nope.
Did you shoot this woman?
Nope.
Owens was convicted in 1999, and in the 24-hour holding period between his guilty verdict and sentencing, he killed his cellmate, who was detained for a traffic charge. Now, Stephen Golden, who was also part of the Speedway robbery, signed an affidavit on Thursday saying Owens did not shoot Irene Graves, and he was not even there. In the statement, Golden says he was high on cocaine and marijuana when he was arrested and questioned by police, and substituted Owens for the person he claims actually shot Graves because he was afraid the real killer would target him, and he says he still is. He now says it has weighed heavily on his mind. Golden was sentenced to 30 years in prison for his role in the robbery after testifying against Owens. Yet prosecutors have said evidence besides Golden's testimony link Owens to this crime, like his girlfriend testifying that he confessed to the killing. The defense attorneys say the affidavit from Golden represents new evidence and should delay Owens' execution, allowing Owens to pursue further action, like a new trial. Without a favorable Supreme Court decision, though, it could come down to whether Governor Henry McMaster downgrades his sentence to life imprisonment. Owens' attorney has asked Governor McMaster for clemency, but McMaster said last week to reporters that he will not decide that until right before the execution begins, when he is asked by prison officials. And it's important to note, no governor has granted that request since the death penalty was restarted nearly 50 years ago.
And fast forward, it was not granted. Let's listen to this.
South Carolina inmate is dead following the state's first execution in 13 years.
Freddie Owens died today shortly before 7 p.m. for the 1997 murder of Greenville gas station clerk Irene Graves.
Our Nate Stanley reports from Columbia.
Witnesses say Owens had a quiet demeanor as he entered the room to be executed in Columbia today. I'm also told Irene Graves' family was there to witness it. According to the South Carolina Department of Corrections, Owens began receiving drugs through an IV around 6:30 Friday night and was pronounced dead 20 minutes later at 6:55 p.m. 3 media witnesses gave their account of the execution via lethal injection. Jeffrey Collins with the Associated Press says Owens was conscious for close to a minute once drugs entered his IV. Collins says Owens' breathing eventually slowed, and within 10 minutes he stopped moving. A doctor pronounced him dead shortly after that. Irene Graves' son and son-in-law were both there watching Owens as he died. Collins explains how Owens seemed prior to his death.
With no sign of any discomfort, Freddie Owens the whole way through had maybe like a small smile or certainly not a grimace or anything like that during the time that he appeared to still have consciousness when this was going on.
Earlier in the day, protesters gathered outside voicing their concerns.
I think that it's just something our society should not do. You know, if a person is arrested and convicted for a crime, a murder, they should not be executed decades, years, months later.
And the state is set to execute Richard Moore of Spartanburg next. That won't happen for at least another 5 weeks.
And so that, I believe, was the other Dusty in crime, the other CIT, criminal in training, which they've obviously succeeded in that. Have I not told you, said it before, said it again, sometimes the worst place for a black woman to be is in the black community. You're talking about a Karen. Sometimes that's the worst place to be. And all this time, so 13 years, he's been able to be, here. And don't forget too, this shows you what kind of, what I would describe as a depraved animal, not even worthy of being labeled as human, to think someone was arrested and in a cell just 24 hours as he's awaiting sentencing. Someone arrested and they're in a cell on a traffic citation, and they said he killed him. What kind of animal is that? A person in there for a traffic citation, they said he killed the person. I have no sympathy. 19 years old on a robbery, a crime spree, a string of robberies. I don't want to hear about the no father in the home, right from wrong. A string of robberies. Don't want to work. Dusties bring drama, heartache, and trauma. A lot of them do not want to work. However, what was she doing? He's doing they said a string of robberies. What was she doing?
First time tonight, we are seeing her face and hearing from her daughter. Miss Graves was killed in 1997 in Greenville County. She was 41 years old, a single mom with 3 kids, working 3 jobs. At the time of her death, her oldest son was away at college.
So she was working not 1 job, 3 jobs. So I guess we could say, and I think there's going to be a correction on that, she was actually be 32. So, not 41. So she's working 3 jobs, taking care of 3 kids. What's he doing? Robbing. A string of robberies. A string of robberies. A single mother, 3 jobs and 3 kids. And he just took her life away. Look what she was, look what he was doing. This is what they do. I have no sympathy. And the thing, you're not even in jail. Like a killer on wheels. Already killed somebody and then with on a traffic citation. There's no, and for some of those who are delusional, there's no therapy for that. Nah, there is no therapy for that. None whatsoever.
Information. Freddie Owens was convicted of shooting and killing store clerk Irene Graves at Speedway on Lawrence Road after committing a string of robberies at 19 years old on Halloween night in 1997.
Say anything about this murder? Are you involved in it?
Nope.
Did you shoot this woman?
Nope.
Owens was convicted in 1999, and in the 24-hour holding period between his guilty verdict and sentencing, he killed his cellmate, who was detained for a traffic charge.
Some people are just evil. They're just animalistic. They're not even worth the label of being classified as human. Just an evil specimen. That's how I see him. And the execution, oh, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. And some people are, and we're gonna really disagree. That's their opinion. They don't agree with that. She was working 3 jobs. He didn't even have one, but he definitely was on. But I say they were robbed, steal and rob. Did he have to kill the woman? My thing is, for him to do that and to even then kill someone in a jail, in a prison cell. I mean, seriously. Person there on a traffic citation. Family probably thinking, oh, tickets, what have you. He'll be home soon. No, he won't. Not with Freddie Owen's in the cell. Tells me a person just diabolically evil. You just want to kill people, don't you? And guess what? He got what he gave. Hooray, hooray. He got what he gave. I have no sympathy. It took a while, but he got what he gave. Does this bring drama, heartache, and trauma? The financial implications got us, and this is crazy. This thing on the screen being supported by the taxpayer dollars. And this is 2 people. It makes me wonder, Trump is going to be honest with you. For him to do this, it makes me wonder, are these just the times he's been caught? A lot of crimes are unsolved. Oh, just pin it on him. You ever think that maybe they're guilty? Even kill someone in the jail. So, I mean, what does that tell you? The depravity. So he took 2 lives based on a report. And guess what? The state took his. And I call it Even Stevens. And I'm out. Thanks for watching.